So this is GamerDom and welcome back to my garage, or my chalet. We've been progressing up the new Czechoslovakian medium branch that came in the last patch. Started off with these 3 light tanks here. You'll see the videos I posted on those. They're tiers 1 to 3, so I guess most people, just like I did, just get through them as quickly as possible. I didn't like them. They didn't suit my playstyle, didn't play them very well, as one of my viewers kindly pointed out, but he was quite right. Actually, as I said in the description, didn't play them very well, but I thought people might want to see what they're like. So the first 3 are lights, and then you move on to the ST-VZ39, which is the tier 4, and it's the first of the actual mediums along this line. I quite like that tank. That was fun. It was it didn't have much speed, a bit slow, but it's an early war tank, so I guess we can forgive that. The gun on it, the 47mm, was very good. Really enjoyed playing with that. It was quite punchy, fires rapidly, good penetration for its tier. So yeah, enjoyed that immensely. Very nearly kept it, but I just know I've got too many tanks anyway, and tier 4 am I really going to play? So then we moved on to this one, which is the tier 5, the Skoda T24. Has that sort of same Skoda look, like a brick with a gun mounted on the front. They're not the most aerodynamic, or they don't seem to understand the sloping really made a difference, but most of these tanks were designed fairly early war, and or even before the war in some cases, so I guess you forgive that. They learned from bitter experience that you need to have proper sloping on your armour. So the Skodas have a very similar look. If you look at pretty much all the ones through there, they have this very high hull. It's quite a big tank, and the themes of the Czech line generally appears to be good gun, pretty much non-existent armour, and reasonable mobility. So let's see whether it continues with this thing. Hit points 450, which is pretty good. It's got a ton weight of nearly 20, the way I've got it configured. Now the engine is a bit deceptive. It's a 450 horsepower engine with a top speed of 58 and a traverse speed of 40 degrees a second. Now when I saw that, when I first opened this tank, I thought fantastic, it's going to be a fast medium. The problem is the stock engine is rubbish. So let's bring that up. So your stock engine is a 380 horsepower, and that carrying around a 20-ton tank means this tank is very sluggish. And I was really surprised, because I looked at those stats up the top there and said 450 engine, 58 top speed, it's going to be a quickie tank. In fact, I even started to do a review saying exactly that, and then I played a couple of games and realised that's not true. So yeah, that stock engine, you need to upgrade it to get the benefit of this tank. When you do upgrade and you get this this V12 19.8 litre engine, 450 horsepower, and it makes a huge difference. Your speed suddenly become that nimble tank that it looks like on these stats on the side here. So thoroughly recommend getting that upgraded engine as soon as you possibly can. You'll probably need the tracks as well to make a difference. So unfortunately this is one of those vehicles where you need to do a bit of research on it. So yeah, the tracks are also important, and that engine, you definitely need to go for that second engine there on the sheet. So the gun, that looks like that's the initial gun looks like it's pretty much the same one as you had on the previous tier tank, which was okay. But bearing in mind this is a tier 5, so you're going into tier 7 matches, you need to get up to the upgraded 75mm as quickly as possible, because that's a good gun as well. So, and again, say the theme of this particular branch appears to be good gun, weak armour. So let's have a quick look at the armour. such that it is 50 mils front of the turret and also of the hull. Now, given the fact there is virtually no sloping there, so the turret is flat as a pancake and the hull is not much better, even with 50 mil you're not going to bounce anything. I have occasionally bounced on the turret if I'm in a hold down position, which actually this tank is very good at doing. I bounce shots, but only of lower tier. I think you're going to be pushing it. The mantle's not that big on the gun. Yeah, you're not really going to stop much with it. So don't count on the armour. The bottom rule. 30 mils of the rest of the armour on the side of the turret and of the hull and of the back of the hull and the back of the turret. Again, they're flat as a pancake, so you take hits. In some of the bigger guns come against you, you're going to take a full value HE shot because they'll penetrate straight through 30mm of armour and do maximum damage on the inside, killing all sorts of things. So try not to be shot at. It's a good thing in any kind of World of Tanks battle, but particularly true in these sort of tanks with no armour. Visibility range, base view range, again this changes when you put the turret on, the different turrets. So the initial turret, you have 330 view range. When you upgrade to the second turret, which you need to go on to the next tank anyway, it goes up to 350, which is pretty good as a tier 5, which means it becomes viable putting coated optics on it and becoming a spotter for your team as well as a gun to hire, so to speak. So with this, with my coated optics on here, my view range is up to 400 on this, and I find that I've said this before in other videos, but one of the things I find that if you are a medium in a battle where you are low tier and you're going to struggle to penetrate anything with your gun, being a spotter and using your observation will really help out the team, and it will also obviously gather you extra XP for assistance damage. So if you can spare the spot and the spot on the equipment isn't needed, coated optics is thoroughly recommended. Over on this subject, I've got rammer, vents and coated optics on here. I was debating when I initially equipped this tank on whether to put vents or whether to put enhanced lane drive on this. In the end I chose vents because of the benefit it gives to the whole crew, and also, if I'm honest, I had one in the garage and I didn't have gun lane drive, and I didn't really want to spend 500,000 creds just now. I'm trying to save up for a new tier 10, so let's move on to the guns. There's two guns that come on this tank. You get the A13 and the A18. The A13 is an okay gun. It's got a fast rate of fire, and like both the guns actually, 110 is your actual damage per shot, average damage per shot, which is a bit low. So the theme of this tank gun is fast firing, low alpha, not bad penetration. Even on its first gun, it's 103 with standard ammunition, which is okay. But really, you want to move on to this second gun. It's a good gun. 11.3 rounds per minute, and the armor piercing capability has gone up to 132mm with its standard ammo. And when you use APCR, that's 185. Still the 110 actual damage. So you're not gonna intimidate people with your shots, but you might do with your rate of fire. So 2.3 aim time, and that was one of the reasons why I wasn't sure what equipment to put on this tank. I was thinking about the gun lane drive to try and improve that aim time, but it doesn't feel that bad. I've not had a problem with it at all. The gun lane drive, maybe that's a useful thing, but I found the vents have been as good, if not better. So you pay your money, you take your choice. So one of the things I have noticed with this gun is the gun depression. I found this actually a really good slope warrior. You know, you haven't got much armour, but if you can get in a hold down position, just the angling of the shots coming up on you, and the turret front is quite small, so apart from this rather large cupola here, you know, you can do some damage. So I don't know what the gun depression is, but it's sort of down, it will come down to sort of the here, and so I found that really good, and I've sort of christened this one the GOAT, because I think it's a good one. I'll show you a review, I'll show you a replay of a match I had where I got up high on the hills, and high on the hills sounds like it should be doing some kind of sing-along, but up on a high hill and using the gun depression to peek over the top of the crest and shoot some of the tanks below, and then get high and then use the height of the mountain or the hill to cause real damage to the enemy, and it works really nicely. And with the engine power on the top engine, you can get up those slopes pretty quickly and dominate the battlefield if you're allowed to. So anyway, talking of games, let's go and see what this tank is capable of. Okay, so here we are on Lakeville. This was my first game in the Skoda T24. At this point I had upgraded the tracks, and also I had the top gun, but I hadn't done the engine or the turret. Excuse me. You can tell the turret's not been upgraded because the driver's cupola gets a lot bigger on the upgraded turret. And really the turret doesn't give a huge amount, it certainly doesn't give any armour, but it does give a lot more view range. And also the turret traverse. So it's a useful upgrade, and you need it anyway to get to the T25. So I'm off and running. I was a little bit disappointed by how sluggish this tank was. I thought from the reviews it was going to, or from my look at it in the garage, it was going to be really quite nimble, but it wasn't. And also I got up here because I thought my view range was better than it was. I hadn't checked the turret out properly. So all in all, it was a bit of a cock-up in terms of my first game, but it was the first game. So I've come up here, sitting to see what I can see, hoping doing a bit of view range, viewing for my team, but I realised pretty soon that my spotting range just isn't good enough. So in for a penny, in for a pound, I rush forward. KV2 decides to pop out. Well, this gives me a chance to try out this gun. It's a nice gun. There's a high roll as well, 122, 110 average. And he pulls back again, which is rather nice. So I was trying to track him with that last shot, but I did on that third shot, so that's good. I think he's turning towards me. I haven't got sixth sense, so that shot probably was a bit high. Tree going down to the right, but I put another shot into where that KV was just in case. So this is a bit of a predicament. I know that they probably know it. Well, they know I'm here, clearly. I haven't got sixth sense, so I don't know whether I'm on anybody's radar. And I'm kind of a bit in limbo until the team spots something. But, you know, there's a KV again. And there's a KV1. What's he doing? He's heading back the other way. So I've definitely spotted him for the team. He's been tracked. Out through my second shot on him, hit the turret, but hey ho. So 82, and you know, this gun is a really nice gun. I like it. I like the tank. I like the gun. I think yeah, it's a nice vehicle. So I'm moving up still. Trying to get some side shots on those boys, but they're all safely in the village. In the town I can't get anything. I know there must be some TDs down on the K-line, there always are. But no, it doesn't look like there are. So can I get a shot on that cupola? No, I didn't aim in quickly enough to give me a chance. It doesn't look like he knows I'm here, because he's pointing the other with his guns, aiming towards the city, so... Okay, easy 8 down there. He's in a bit of a predicament, as he's got all our team coming screaming towards him. So, we've lost the valley, but we've won the city, and we're in the cap. The centre's quite secure, and I think, right, let's go and see whether we can pay this KB attention. He's busy looking the other way. He's not really wanting to see me come over the top, I don't think. So he's still fixated on the other side, keeps turning his turret. I've landed APCR because I need to have a chance, but I took a big hit from him there, and that was a very low roll. Now the Easy 8's having a go at me from the other side. So I can't take another hit from anybody now, but it's 8 all. But we have got 2 in the cap, and unless they do something very quickly, we're going to win this by cap. Can't see that Easy 8. 3485's coming around the north. KB1's going to be too slow, so the Churchill's going to be too slow. So let's see if we can get some arty butt. You spotted him, but there he is. Right. Grill, meet your maker. 108. The annoying thing is that's too low. I've loaded HE. Don't pen. So there you go. What can you do? You do the right thing. Try and hit him in the side with HE, but I finish him off anyway. But it took an extra shell, didn't really need to do. So it looks like we won this game. We've taken the village has been secure, the cap's been pretty secure for ages. It's just a question of killing a few before we cap out. And yeah, that was my first game in this tank. I quite liked it. I was quite impressed. I was a bit disappointed by the acceleration, but there you go. So that's the post-game stats, and you can see we got a first-class mastery, spotter because of all the work we did on the road. But I think we'll do better when we've got the better turret, because it just didn't give us enough view range as would have been ideal. Bruiser, fast for effect. Yeah. We finished. Where did we finish? Top on experience, which is nice. Did just over 1,000 damage, which is good. Tier 5 tank in a Tier 6 game. Don't mind that at all. 13 shots fired, 12 hits. That's pretty good shot ratio. 10 of which penetrated. So again, as I say, that gun is very pokey. Doesn't hit hard, only about, what is it, just over 100 average damage, but when you do well. So that's all good. Took 3 hits, 2 of which penetrated, 1 didn't. Frankly surprised to get 1 bounce, but anyway, whatever. Made 27,000 credits, which is pretty good, and I did fire at least 1 APCR round against that KV85. So, you know, still a good credit maker. And it was ×2, so 2,500 XP. So, all in all, not a bad little outing for the first time. Yeah, I spotted those 2 KVs, the KV2 and the KV1. So, anyway, there you go. So let's have another. So this is actually the 3rd game I had in the Skoda T24. We're on Ringberg. It's a Tier 5 matchup, which is nice. I have now upgraded the engine and the turret. You can see the driver's cupola, or commander's cupola, is much larger than it is on the standard turret. Gives you increased visibility, which is great. Not much else, a little bit of better gun traverse. But really, it's the engine. Suddenly, you're a bit more pokey. You're a bit more, as I expected this tank to be. Bit of a twitch on the replay, never mind. So you can accelerate quite quickly. You've got a good top speed now with this engine, so that's good. So I'm heading up round into the middle. See if we can catch some of those guys that are pushing. I don't know what that. Panzer 4. Did I hit that Panzer 1C? I didn't notice that on the real game. I think I might have bounced off my friendly Panzer 1C trying to hit that M4. Goodness knows what the M4 was doing, just sitting up there on the slope, but whatever. So there's lots of enemy tanks just seem to be pushing their way ahead, like they want to get killed in the middle. So we'll try and oblige them, shall we? I think I must have hit that LT. Don't know. If I did, he was obliterated straight after, so we'll see the after game stats. So still pushing. Oh, no, it wasn't him that was obliterated. Oh well, never mind. Whatever. I'm losing track of what's going on already, and I'm watching the replay. So we pushed quite aggressively up on this village, and I can know that the DW2 is still down there. He should be easy to penetrate. There's a cruiser down there. Oh, there's the enemy ST VZ39, which, as I know, has got a really good gun, but not much else. So, took a hit there. I bounced a couple of shots there. Matilda first of all, DW2 both bounced, and I think, you know, it's one of the things that was a bit disparaging of the armour of this tank, and it's true that it's not a great set of, not really good armour. Hello, Crusader. Not a good idea to not a good idea to head back up the road when you know there's a load of enemies sitting at the top. So anyway, we're pushing on. Can we do anything to a KV-1S? They've got pretty good armour, but look at that, punch straight through it. I am using APCR. Let's try another one. Tried to track him, didn't. And that gun fires pretty rapidly. What is it? 4.4 second reload. I'm getting a bit of attention, so I pull back. Matilda is the thing that's causing me grief. Bounced him though. So I've moved back onto my standard shells. It's KV1 again, but he's angled. Tracks of the Valentine TD, and frankly, I mean, this game is over already. The enemy side were not particularly good. There were a couple of good players, but you know, most of their team were rubbish. Just coming to sit up on the middle there was just daft. So, but you've got good gun depression on this tank. Working a ridge like this is shows it at its best, I think. I'm christening this tank the GOAT. I'll show you on the next one why I really think that. But I think if you can get up on a ridge line, use the gun depression, use what little armour there is, because if you can get an angle from somebody firing below you, then that turret armour becomes a little bit better. Still a bit flat for my liking, but you know, I'm 56 miles an hour, kilometres an hour, flashing across this field, a bit jerky because that's the Reaper. I don't know why it's doing that, but anyway, if we can get the Matilda back of the hut turret. Good night. Thank you very much. So, 1,000 damage, 2 kills. Yeah, good game. Let's have a look at the results. So here we go. We got second class mastery for that. Bruiser again. It's 2 bruisers, isn't it, I think. Spread our damage around quite nicely, which is good. Finished top again on XP. Second on damage. Just that Marder did more. 23 shots this time, only 14 connections and 12 penetrations. So if you can aim well, penetrations seem to come quite nicely in this tank. We got 7 hits on us, I suppose because we were being hit by the Matilda and the AT and Valentine tank destroyers, so they don't have very large caliber guns, so you can take a few hits from them without being seriously compromised. But of those 7 hits, I bounced 3 of them. So again, I think, like I said before, when you're on a sort of crest line, like I was on that sort of hill there, they can only really see my turret, and despite the fact it's only got 50 mils of armour, it does seem to bounce a few, particularly of those lower tier tanks. I wouldn't want to test it against tier 7s and so forth, but against its own sort of tier and below, yeah, alright. 21,000 credits. I used a couple of rounds of APCR, so you know, that's pretty good. Over 1,000 XP again, so that's all good. So there you go, that's the GOAT in action again. One more review, and we show it really doing well in a hill kind of scenario. Okay, so here we go. This is the last replay I'm going to show. It's again a tier 5 game. I got quite lucky with the matchmaking on this. I don't know whether there's a certain weighting which is in favour of these vehicles, but I've played something like 8 or 9 games in it. I've only ever had one tier 7 match. Majority have been tier 5 games, which is nice because that's when you can really do some damage in this tank now. Maybe I've just been extremely lucky, we'll see. So it's a tier 5 game. We're on cliff, and I'm going to test out both the engine power and the gun depression by seeing whether I can get up on the hillside there. I christened this tank the GOAT in another one of my videos. Oh, here we go, this is interesting. So we're head to head with the German tier 5 Czech premium tank, the T24, and you can see the engine power of this thing is considerably better than that tank. So I'm looking forward to getting back onto the Skoda T24, which is the Czech version of that tank, because it has the autoloader, and I love playing it in the test server. So anyway, back to this game. We're heading up the hill, up the cliff, up onto the hillside. BT's ahead of us, so he's spotting. We're going to see what we can do. BT, I don't know what happened there. Dodged his shot, but not really doing much there. I'm sort of firing an auto aim, and I really probably shouldn't have done. Should have aimed properly. Don't know what's happening. So that T24 looks like he's ripe for a bit of... Well, first of all, let's put a big shell into the STVZ, which is a nice tank. I quite enjoyed playing that, but it's not really outclassed in this sort of game. T24, hello. What are you doing stopping there? That's really not a good thing to do. So, a couple of shells into him. Let's get rid of that problematic BT because he's spotting us all up here. Good night. So when you aim this gun, it's very, very pokey. It's got really good penetration. That's the ST firing at me. Missed another shot. See, he's got a very good rate of fire. My rate of fire's not bad, 4.47, but his is a lot quicker than that. Can't dodge a big shell though, mate. So there you go. But this, you see what I mean? This has got lovely mobility and a nice acceleration, so you can dodge around the hillside here and take full advantage of your gun depression. Oh, got killed just before I fired, that's a shame. But that Chinu is asking for trouble. So we'll give it to him. Bang! 112, slightly above average. Bang! 124, considerably above average. Can we finish him off? No, somebody else got him. So this, I mean, this has been a rout, to be honest, but T14 is a bit more tricky proposition. He's got some good armour on there, so I'll leave him and I'll switch for that T40. Didn't do so well at that range, so you can see the difference. If you're firing medium to short range with this gun, it's pretty good. At longer ranges, deviation is a bit high. That was a snapshot just because I knew he was going to go behind that building. So can I get him through there? No. It disappeared just as I was about to fire, and then reappeared just after I'd fired. So we've won there. We've won the hill, we've won the side, but they have come around the other flank. And there's an OI experimental. But he's pretty much finished, and I'm above him. And what should we do? Let's just waft the first shot. Yeah, good plan. Oh well, never mind. So 96 on the second shot, and he's dead. There's the T67. Let's have him. Ranging shot. Yes, nice. Hit him at distance. Can I get another one before he disappears? Through that gap. Bang. Nice. So shell velocity is not bad in this tank, obviously. They've only got 2 left, and they're dying very rapidly. But you know, the GOAT has done its job. It's climbed all over that rock. I'll never get down before the RT gets killed. But there you go. So that's the GOAT in action, and it's pretty good. Pretty good indeed. Only good enough for first class mastery. Again, I think people must be playing this tank pretty well, because I thought that was a good game, and I only got a first class, not an ace tanker. So Bruiser, and we got the Confederate, because we were dishing out that punishment across lots of tanks, not necessarily picking up the kills, but kills don't matter particularly. It's more about the damage in terms of what you can do with your for scoring. So we finished top on XP again, 900, 1200 damage and 2 kills. So that's pretty good. Fired 21 shots, 14 connected, 13 penetrated for our 1200 damage. Received 3 hits, 2 penetrating, 1 bounce. That was that one from the STVZ39, I think. Did a bit of spotting, which is good. 5. That was because of the optics on that tank and getting up high. And we made 26,000 credits, which is good as well. So 1300 XP, all very nice indeed. So, you know, all in all, Skoda T24, it's a nice tank. It needs that upgraded engine in my view. I think once you've got that and you've got the upgraded gun, it's pretty effective tier 5. It's been far better than I expected. Didn't know really what to expect, to be honest, but I've enjoyed playing it immensely. I've played, about 8 games or something like that now, 8-9 games. So it's not a huge number, but I've enjoyed all of them. Even the one that I was killed by Artie fairly early in the game. It's a good tank. So anyway, I've been GamerDom. Wish you luck out there on the battlefield, and if you've tried out any of these Czech tanks, please let me know, because I'd love to hear your opinion.